My name is Steve Kamau, na kama dawa mnajua Kenya si ufanya. This is Tupatane and we are continuing on the topic drug and substance abuse. And to be specific, we'll be touching on sex, crime and money. And last week we had an amazing time with Hazy, and today we have another new guest, with amazing story to just help each and every young person who is at home wondering, how can I get out from these menace which I found myself in, or how can I help my friend or someone I know who is in this pit, if I may say. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the one and the only, the amazing man who is tunafanana. Karibu sana, man.
Poa. Thanks guys, my name's Ricky or Eric Mulu. I'm so humbled to be in your show.
Karibu sana.
And I appreciate this moment.
Yeah. So Rick, what do you need?
I'm a farmer.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't look a little bit out of context because my youth thought wataka tu digitally. Mimi ni farmer, mimi ni family man, mimi ni buda msee anaitwa Roba. Juu ni msee anakam. Appreciate.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So generally tukiongelea drugs and substance abuse, kuna vitu mob ziongelea.
Yes.
Kuna watu wana a different perspective. Kuna msee anasema alcohol si drug, na kuna mtu anasema bang si drug. What's your definition of drugs?
That's a very
and substance
question.
Abuse?
And my definition of drugs and substance abuse is simple. Anything that alters your mind, it intoxicates your mind, that's a drug.
Okay.
One, I'll like to categorize in two bits. Alcohol is commercialized, okay? But it impacts your life by being an illicit substance in your system. Anything that will alter your mindset, the way your behavior is, it will impact your behavioral patterns. So itakutoka from reality to a state of fantasy in a euphoric state. Marijuana, it's an illegal drug because Kenya bado hatuja legalize marijuana. But many people try to hide kwa marijuana na ile context. It is medicinal. But personally, from my own personal experience, anything ile nakata kukupatia reality check in your life, it's a drug. So marijuana is one of the most abused drug that in affect your neurochemical component in terms of a human being. So for me, those are substances of abuse, and they will be able to impact you negatively in terms of your composition as a human being.
Interesting. Touch on some few things because nimekuwa part of discussions with young people who continually believe that, you know what, used in a certain way, it is helpful, but there is something you've corrected me in terms of my perspective on the same, because you being a first-hand user, you saw it, you tasted it, and you not only tasted it, you are part of it.
Exactly.
And indeed, you say it affected you negatively.
Yes.
So you touching on that I beg to ask, why do you think you started using drugs?
Very good question. Now, many people, I'll start from that perspective. Many people are drifted to drug abuse because of some few factors. One, there can be a family dysfunctionality. Secondly, there is peer pressure. Peer pressure is real. People who you are now define the kind of person you are. Now, when you lack kind of mentorship from a very young age, you start looking for options to fit in. So many a times, my youth wengi wakigrow, they want to belong. You know, that word belonging, it's very powerful. Because people will try now to refer you according to the status you are and the clique who you hang out with. But apparently, wase wengi wakiget into these peer pressure ama relations, unapata pressure inakuwa more. Because unapata msee ametoka from a family, probably it might be well up, or family melelewa ghetto, alafu unapata hizi vitu zilikuwa exposed even in their own families background. Probably unapata budake alikuwa anatumia bangi. So yeye for him bangi it's a normalcy. Embrace kama kitu normal. So ukitoka pale hiyo unakuta unamwambia bangi ni mbaya, anakuambia hata bibi budangu utumia, unajaribu kumwambia nini? Na mimi niligrow up kwa setup budangu anatumia bangi, madangu anapika changa, mwingine amekaa from Runda ama high end ama uptown place, kwake ni makavasi ma NSC ziko kwa fridge. Yeye tu analimitiwa labda sale parents wake wamewalk out, but hizi vitu anaziona. Then akiswitch kwa content, kwa media, kwa social media nini, anaona vile music artists wana glorify such lifestyle. So utamwambiaje?
Hawezi mshoe
because that's the ata rationalize, justify, I need to be using this stuff so that I can belong. The moment I go to school, I go to probably a co-ed campo, nataka pia kufeel na belong. Na ukiangalia hizi institution kama USIU, I'm not trying to maximize USIU.
Yes.
There are these watu wametoka from upbringing ziko fiti. So unapata msee na Kampala na ile context. Tulikuwa Hawaii. So tulikuwa tunadunda na kina nani. So wewe umekam na scholarship. Okay? We are trying to fit in that environment. Ndio uweze feel acceptable. So unaanza kufeel pia lazima ufanye zile vitu wanadu. Unajipata umeingia kwa drill. Sasa hivyo ndio madrill wasi wengi uingia. Inakuanga ni peer pressure na pia utake kubelong, ufeel comfortable.
And kuna vitu moja umetouch on, umesema family, umesema peer pressure.
Exactly.
And maybe kidogo nikiendelea kuna write down. For you ilikuwa reason yako?
Mimi reason yangu ilikuwa nililack mentorship from a family perspective. Then the issue was nilikuwa exposed na everything. One thing, kulikuwa na media, kulikuwa na TV, kulikuwa na music, tulikuwa tunakaa mtaani tunaweza na movie. So many a times your environment ili create a very conducive environment ya miku go into drugs. So personally nilianza kuona beer ama whiskey kwa nazitanga vodo kwa nazionanga kwa fridge. So mi home. So zikiwa hapo home nilikuwa naenda nachukua vodo naeka alafu naeka maji na refill. Unapata ile ilikuwa imerudi pale. So ni unapata hata mother kikam
kuicheki
anaona iko pale. So mimi nishachapa matot na nimetoka nimeenda nimepata maboy wanachoma weed. Basically nilianza kusmoke weed kwa form 2. So nikimtaa nilianza kuendelea kufuel hizo habits. Because nilikuwa naona na get a state of euphoria. Unajua euphoria
you're not in this
exactly,
world.
Una induce feeling ya happiness. So you need to get high to induce that feeling. Okay. So that you can be able to live in a fantasy world. So tuligrow na Nzia Tupac. So unajua Tupac alikuwa anatuinspire. If you go to this what were ijam, many people are talking about being Tupac. Alafu unajua pia the culture ilikuja, the western culture ilikuja na wave. Wave ingine moja ilikuwa big sana. So we wanted to belong na kukaa kama hao ma artists. So unajua kwa video zao kulikuwa na smoking of weed, pot, nini. Sasa tulitaka kukaa hivyo ndio tufitini. So personally journey yangu ilianza from home.
So mara mob nimesikia wasee wengi and I don't know if you agree. Nimepata wasee wengi home na watu wenye wanatuona.
Yes.
Wanasema it all starts in the house.
Exactly.
It is not a new behavior. It starts around. And maybe some parents, maybe we'll touch on that later on, disagree that because they say in our house we don't do such things.
Yes.
So the why is very important because there are people who have different perspectives and different tastes in terms of drugs. So how did it affect you? And I would like just to ask the questions. How did it affect you emotionally, mentally, and maybe physically, in terms of socially, you know? And how did it affect if you're in school, I believe, as you started, and maybe as you progressed, there are little other things maybe it affected, but how did it affect your life, maybe career-wise and school?
So in school, haikuwa na effect ikuwa very much because I was still young and I was strong. So nilikuwa najaribu ku rationalize justify it's a recreational thing. It didn't actually affect sana my education in terms of impact life yangu, but nilikuwa na believe niko poa but siko poa. Because you see process ya drug abuse ama kukuwa na it's a continuous process. It goes slowly till it reaches a peak, it blows up. Ikiblow up sasa ndio unaanza kufeel sasa the downhill. You start now going down.
So it has a sense of curve.
Yes, it has a sense of curve. If you get to the climax, now inaanza kupull back.
Deep.
Na inapull back sasa you break emotionally. One thing, you are not able to have your cognitive faculty. Always coordinate poa because one thing unapata unakuwa na tussle with yourself and those around you. one thing ina impact relationships zako, especially kwa setup ya home. Unapata unakuwa rebellious even to your own parents. And I'll give you a scenario. You might be a God-fearing family.
Yeah.
Your parents are very active in church. Alafu umetoka nje umemeet na other people from different family backgrounds. Alafu wamekam na a certain lifestyle walikuwa wame-embrace ya kwao. Wako na ile attitude ya don't care attitude. Kwenyu ni strict disciplinarian attitude. Umepata pale kuna a slight room ya freedom. Alafu umekaa shule 3 months umekaa home. Budako ni strict to that level. Unaget? Alafu unaambiwa unajaribu kutoka usinika unaenda usmoke kidogo. Budako anakwambia unanuka nini unaanza kukasirika. So already unaanza withdraw. So already unaanza kudetach from a setup ile initialized na parents zako. Already una exhibit signs of rebellion. So one thing emotionally unaanza kuwa disconnected.
Okay.
Now these people wale wanataka kubuild kushape life yako. Okay? That is emotional break. Socially unaanza kufeel ukitoka sasa nje kwa society unaanza ku meet different characters. So unaona hawa say ni wa better off kuliko watu wako home. So socially unaanza unaona ni kama unaendelea poa, but in the real sense you are losing out because wale watu wanafaa kuwa wanakulead, wanakuguide, umedisconnect now. So hii ya society inakuwa ni fallacy, inakuwa ni kama ni fake, haiko. So when you start now exhibiting signs of the effects, unaanza kupata kuoga, sometimes unakuwa mlevi, society sasa inaanza kukuhit. Huyu ni mtoto wa nani? Siku hizi amekuwa mlevi, aenda ni church bila alikuwa anaenda. Amechange tangu aende hiyo kampo, si yeye. So for me drugs ilikuwa na that trend because ilifika peak nika lose job yangu.
Now this is way later. Nikakuja nikapata job. Alafu sasa hapo ndio pali sasa where now you got money.
Yes,
you have everything
money, exactly.
at your disposal.
Exactly.
I wish kwenyu.
Exactly. Nilikuwa na shiku wangu and then you see where I used to work. We used to make like 10 G's those days. Nikitambo 2002 per day. And you see when you get in such kind of money, to be sincere, and you are a user, what you do? You have to fuel your lifestyle. And then you see that money you can't eat alone. You need people around you, your playmates. And then you have those familiar playgrounds. Alafu unajua kifani na abuse ya drugs, especially alcohol na booze. These people will glorify you because you have money.
That will facilitate this game.
Exactly. This now will make that game ikwe ni real. Wewe ndio kusema.
Wewe sasa ndio coach, wewe ndio manager, wewe una call the shots.
So you see ukienda kwa that drain au jui.
Okay.
Then kidogo unaweza kuja unakuwa sasa ile ability ya kuwork unaanza kuona hata uko enthusiastic kufanya job. Una lose ile touch. Alafu obviously if you don't deliver kwa job unakuwa job. So that's exactly what happened to me. So from there all my best ndio kaanza kunifuel. Lakini it reached a point wakakuwa both that na mimi.
Ndio uleti kitu.
Sileti kitu. That's exactly. Hiyo ndio kingdom ya shetani inakuanga. No, it's a give and take situation. So they started looking for weaknesses to throw me out from that circle.
Because there was a time you were the sponsor, and some of them who are there didn't have.
Exactly.
But now, since you are not bringing anything to the table, you are a liability.
That's it.
And they need to do away with you.
Exactly. So from there, unaanza kukua sasa wewe you are a pain to them. That sasa inafungua another door. It's a level to level. Devil anakuonyesha now you can manipulate. You can extort. You can even steal. Sasa hapo ndio kunaingia element ya ushugamami. Element ya kuanza kumanipulate your family members, element ya kuanza kumanipulate friends wale walikuwa wanakujua hebu nikopeshe 500 maana nimefungiwa keja lakini mimi niko na kulewa. Sister niko na shida, hebu nitafute 200, niko na shida nitumie. Ni aje baada jana nina nikala na deo makanipatia STD, hiyo ni sex, hebu nipatie. Na sometimes it happens, many drug users wanakuanga exposed kwa so many venereal diseases. STIs ziko mob sana, but many wameka kwa closet wanaficha, but it inside. So unapata it's a myriad of issues. So ilifika to that level ikaanza ku experience hizo vitu. Alafu unajua some friends walikuwa na facilitate, lakini kafika point hawezi do without me. Wakienda kukunywa wanataka nikue hapo
juu playground ile.
Exactly. So unapata umse kama siko hata kana nibaia ama kunibaia anataka tu nikue hapo,
anadai wanaitagwaje si comfort.
Yes,
but ana seek comfort. Ana seek comfort na mtu ako in the same
in short anajaribu kuride na soul yangu. I become na kwa sasa entangled. Sasa it's like yeye amenibebea mpaka yani akili yangu imekuwa dormant. I'm not thinking anymore. Sasa na revolve na yeye. So I become a weak link. Yani on my own personal attachment.
Yeah.
So yeye ni kama ametumika to ensnare kwa hiyo lifestyle. So kitu kama hiyo inaenda mbaya mpaka potential unaweza grimika kabisa uishe.
Okay. And nashukuru sana na maybe mtu wako home anashindwa anaweza katupataje. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook and our YouTube channel, and maybe you have questions. On Instagram you can find it as at Eagle Mamas, and on Facebook at Eagle Mamas, and you can continually follow such conversations that will help you. If you have questions, if you want someone to call, or if you want someone to talk to, just reach out to our social media platforms and you shall get help. So if I come back to that, I will ask, because you've really touched on the person and how it affected you majorly.
Yes.
How did it affect, how does the society help you? Or did it help you in any way?
Something funny and something very, very serious about our society. Drug users in our society, they are stigmatized. There is a lot of stigmatization. Anyone who is using drugs, they are looked, yani wanaangaliwa kama watu wa useless. Because one thing, people don't understand, it's a malady. You know, alcoholism or addiction of any form, it's the biggest malady. Today, I'd rather be sick malaria or an headache than be addicted. Because addiction, it's something that many people don't understand. Ni ugonjwa.
Or someone, it's not taught.
No, it's not.
No one is telling,
exactly,
quote unquote, the society who is you
exactly,
and me that this is a disease.
Exactly. And this disease, I don't want to dwell in a sense ya usomi sana. Nataka kuonesha wasa in another direction.
Yeah.
You see, addiction creates doorways in your life. These doorways create a spiritual kind of attack. Demons are everywhere. Let's discuss issues that are really serious. Demons, when they come on you, they make you powerless. You see, unakuwa na anger pangs. Unasikia uko tu unataka kukunywa. Unasikia tu mwili yako inaitisha flesh. Unataka tu kwenda tu, unataka tu dem. Hata you can do anything, unaweza enda tu brothel. Unajua hizi zetu when you are growing, tao kulikuwa na places nyingi sana za
because again, touching on the society, do you think it also facilitates?
It facilitates
because it creates the avenue.
Exactly, it creates the avenue. Today you are investing on a brothel, you are investing on a bar. What do you expect? This bar will buy you in terms of you achieving your dreams. It will buy you, but we call it a bar, and we rationalize by justifying it's a place to have fun. What do you expect?
Okay.
So when you look at it in that sense, inakupatia an overview ni bar. But mimi by then nilifika point mpaka leo hata nikiona bar mustuka.
Because it gave you a such
exactly,
quote unquote trauma.
Exactly. Ilinipatia ka trauma. But unasikia hapana, ile place ni noma. Lakini mimi hiyo time nilikuwa naona bar, naona naingia church.
Huku ni sherehe.
Na tukuza, nasema nimefika kwanza nipatie mbili baridi.
Wale watu wakisema
you know, na ujue hiyo that's glorification.
Okay.
So hiyo ni kama unaomba shetani.
Okay.
Because the moment umeenda pale later, hata sasa hujafanya shopping wako. Hujalipa rent. Hujatoa tithe.
And there's something again, I'll take you back kidogo. And I'm loving how the unveiling of the conversation continues, yeah?
Exactly.
There are a few things you're touching on, yeah? Do you think many of the people tend to neglect the spiritual part of the physical manifestation of things?
That's it. Many people do that. You see, the problem with our society, tuko na so many psychologists, we have so many psychiatrists. These people, they are addressing this issue of drug menace in our society from a worldly viewpoint, what they have read. But these people, in their own homes, in their own lines, they have never experienced a real drug.
Okay.
So them wanaongea in the perspective that wacha nisaidie nani nipate do. It's a career.
Okay.
He has bills to pay. But in the real sense, are you intimate with that? Ana contact.
There's lack of.
Exactly. Kuna hiyo contact ya experience msi go in that journey. Jose kufit in his shoes. Because it's not about the money. It's about the condition. The condition is mental illness. In your mental health. You see, health lazima kuwe unajua kuna mental health na kuna physical health. So your mental health is the bedrock of you coordinating effectively
in everything.
And that's why I like it to be umesema spirituality is the key because life is spiritual.
Yes.
I want you to put that in mind.
Life is spiritual, guys.
Life is spiritual. If it manifests to the physical, then it comes from the spiritual.
It started somewhere.
Exactly. So if it doesn't come from the Lord, it comes from the devil.
Okay.
Remember today, kama wasanii wanaonanga ngoma, hata Kenyan music, what do they glorify?
There is an agenda that they are passing.
There is an agenda, that's right. Hata leo ukiingia kwa gari na chuna ngoma, hata kama wewe ni msee umeokoka, the flesh will always yearn for that moment.
Yes. You tend to remember that song more.
And you remember your flesh ndio imebeba sinful nature.
Okay.
Unasikia? Ingia tu kwa gari, imba hizi magengeton. Nilichukua wife ya Onjivo, sijui nini, wote wanafikiria nini? Tukaa hizo, unaweza kufikiria nini? Alafu unajua ina glorify zile vitu wewe mwenyewe una fight nazo. So literally as a Christian, probably from that perspective, unakuwa schizophrenic.
Yeah, okay.
Because now you are fighting with your own feelings. Now already something inside you that is trying to make you experience the metamorphosis ya kuchange from a drug addict to a transformed person.
Do you think the society can do anything?
Society can do a lot.
And why do you think they are not doing that?
You know why? Because they don't have the content. They don't have the information.
Okay.
You know, we have commercialized things that will bring us money. We don't want to talk about issues that impact people's lives significantly and to the core. Today we want to talk about things that will make us money. Okay? Because now at the end of it all, it's all about money. This world, imebrandiwa, mina work to make dough. But mse akianza kuambia hard facts, akianza kukurebuke, unachukulikana. Kwanza watu wanataka stories zako. One thing wanasema, umse ameokoka. That's the way they talk. Umse anabo. Ibombe watoto sawa wageni yetu story kama hizo. Unabo. Lakini mtoto anataka life and life in fullness and abundance. He wants to get what you are sharing so that he can build. Me wambia Martini sana. Even my own son, he's only 11. I tell him, if you want a good life, start building your value system now. They are values and they will never end. Whether we go, we transition to glory, they will never end. But if you are valueless, my friend, you'll never understand the substance of life. That's the point.
Interesting, guys. I know you love the conversation because the conversation is not only sweet but even informative. And it's not informative from a point of knowledge but from a point of experience. This is Tupatane. We'd like to take a small commercial break. And we shall be right back.
Imagine a life where all children get a fair chance to grow, learn, not worry, and just be happy. Because no child should carry the burden of worry in their minds. Imagine a life where one child does not ridicule another because they have less and ends up making them feel less of a person just because they cannot afford the basics. Imagine a life where all children interact on a level playing field because at the end of the day they are just kids and none of them should feel less or better than the other. Imagine a life where all school-going children are dignified the same way and no one has to walk in shame with their heads bowed. Now stop imagining because we need to create this kind of life for all children before it's too late. Because it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. We need to create environments where children feel safe and brave enough to tell us what scares them. An environment where going to school brings about excitement to learn and not the fear of being ridiculed by others because of your humble background. An environment where no matter what, a child sees school as a place where they feel comfortable enough to gain the knowledge that brought you there in the first place. An environment where girls and boys are taught how to take care and value themselves. We have made steps and even walked miles to be able to create this kind of environment for our children. Every day, we strive to put a smile on a child's face by doing the most we can and appeal to you to join our cause. At Ewemwa, we aim to restore and bring back the dignity that our children may have lost in ways they cannot explain. We need your help so that we can keep this hope alive, because our children are counting on us and we cannot fail them.
Guys, welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed that small Ewemwa video, and those are some of the much things we are doing right now. And you can support us, and we shall be sharing our PayBill number. If you want to support us in these amazing projects we are doing together to help the community and to help these young children which our hearts break for. Tafadhali, fanya hiyo kitu, tusaidiane, si ndio? Once again, you can get this information on our social media platform. on Instagram at Eagle Mamas and on Facebook at Eagle Mamas. Do not forget to subscribe and share. Oh, I forgot, YouTube too. Back to our conversation, and maybe we had left off on how the society can play a very huge role. And you touched on there is a lot that the society is not exposed to in terms of knowledge,
a lot,
and even how they can handle such,
exactly.
You know,
exactly.
And to maybe ask a question. Maybe the society feels it's not my responsibility. Sio mtu ana mzazi.
Yeah.
And maybe kuna mtu ipale ama there is a drug addict or there is whoever an alcoholic and I feel watu wangu wameniangusha. And society continues pressing on that. What's your take on this?
Wow, that's a very powerful question. Now, we are relational beings.
All right.
And we are living in we have been defined by so many social standards. There is an element of like TZ, they do community. Kuna hiyo ujamaa. We as Kenyans to embrace capitalism. So everyone is for himself and God for us all. And I believe that one is a fallacy. It's a satanic. It's a satanic.
Because God has called us to love
exactly.
one another and commune and
but
relate.
Now for Satan to break us to break us and introduce hiyo kitu. Unajua hiyo vision. Akasema everyone for himself, God for us all. And that's where the problem comes in. Now niko na problem leo. People will look at me and say, kwani ana watu wao? That is not society talking back. Because the moment people see me staggering and walking in a shopping center, I'm walking in Tao, and someone notices me and he knows me, instead of them doing something to help me and working in hand with my people so that they can understand, he will start castigating me, he will start criticizing me, he will go and tell other people, hey, nilonanganani bana. Instead aanze kuongea vile anaweza kusaidia, yeye anaanza kukondemn.
Do you think it's because, again, you said something, but is it because the good people, because I believe there's someone out there helping,
yes,
in terms of helping rehabilitate, because exactly. It's more of rehabilitation.
Okay, the problem is we have so many rehabilitation facilities,
yes,
with different models.
Yeah.
But now the problem with them, they are not trying to touch issues that will significantly impact the user's life. Now get, today when you want to help someone, try as much to enter it in his shoes, understand the problem itself. It might be problem jamaa aliachwa na dem, petty
that he can resolve.
Exactly. Jamaa amekuwa na fight na mamake na babake.
Okay.
Jamaa amekuwa na issues za shule, labda anajaribu kusoma, matriculation yake imeenda down.
Right.
Jamaa amekuwa labda na financial issues, he's not making money. Jamaa amekuwa na health issues, probably alienda akakuwa infected na STI. Jamaa amekuwa even exposed to HIV. Jamaa amekuwa na breakup, amedampiwa. There are so many diverse societal issues. But now, for you to understand those dynamics as someone who can help someone who can be there to help, you have to go and let them be open. Share your story.
Okay.
Share your story. You know, but now the problem is wale watu wako hapa hivi wanafaa kuwa wanatusaidia, they have never experienced that part. So utatokaje nje leo, umegrow tu poa, umeenda kampo poa, umekuja ukaona niko na interest ya career, ukachukua hii career ya psychology, alafu unakuja unasaidia msee mtaani, yeye amegrow ya palikuwa mama pima, bangi, vitu zingine anatumia machaves, muoka, unaweza kumwambia shida hizi vitu na wewe mwenyewe hujazitumia.
Oh, kuna hiyo sense ya you do not understand.
Exactly.
And so ukiuliza hivyo tuna feel pia, well, the government is trying to help, yes, maybe one way or another.
Yes.
But maybe the society or the generation or whatever, as we are growing into a world, do you think there's a sense of individualism?
That's it.
As in, and a sense of, instead of empathy rising, empathy lowers and decreases, because everyone is, as you say, everyone for themselves, God for us all.
Exactly.
Do you think that's why people, it's hard for them to rehabilitate?
Yes. You see, I'll give you another scenario. We have NACADA.
Yeah.
NACADA is a government agency. Okay. Me personally, I believe it is doing
what it has been called to do.
It is doing minimal.
Okay.
It has been called on a very important mandate. Actually, hizo ndio zile bodies za Kenya, parasite bodies zinafanya massive to transform lives and to reform people's lives. But because there are one thing kutakuwa na issues, we are operating on a budget. So touching people's, sa budget imekuwa priority kuliko a life of someone. Exactly. So unapata kuna limitation. because everyone who is working in that organization, and wale wengi wana hiyo exposure, wana hiyo hands-on experience, they are there just to work. So wanafikiria leo nikifungua tu rehab tutaandika wase wamefanya psychology. That doesn't help. Those rehab need people with hands-on experience. Today I'll tell you today nimeingia hapo hii matope na najui matope vile ina taste. Kwa hivyo ukiona leo nimetoka kwa hii matope na nimekuwa smart na nimechange, try to find out what did I do? Hii metamorphosis ama transformation ilioka aje? Have the zeal to know. But now you come and telling me oje experiences of it. Utaniambia nini? Utajaribu for tu ukwe bothered, useme au mse ni mad, mse siwezi kusaidia. Utatafuta another client. That is the problem in the society.
To understand, I believe you passed through rehabilitation to be here where you are.
Did.
And maybe one or another, whatever some of the problems you're talking about really affected that time.
Exactly.
And beautifully, as we continually progressing to concluding today's discussion, I'd like to ask, now this is where you are.
Yes.
Yeah. And how long have you been clean?
I've been clean 1.5 years almost.
1.5 years.
Yes.
And counting. Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think?
But I want to tell you something.
All right.
Recovery. It's a process.
It's a process of recovery.
Never let anybody lie to you. Nimeka miaka 5. There are also wameka miaka 5 and they have wako na will, strong will ya kukaa. But many people wale wamerecover wamekuwa on and off. Relapse is real. Leo unasema ukunywi. Na unakuwa strong. Kesho unakuwa emotionally hit na kitu. Inakutrigger, unasema nakunywa. Unakunywa kwa wiki moja.
And then unarudi huko. What am I doing?
Exactly. Alafu tena what am I doing? Unakuja unaacha tena.
So
unajua sasa mi yangu nilikuwa naacha na relapse. Lakini when I made the choice, nilikuja kufind solution kitu moja. Kwanza nilikuja nika-hibernate, nikaanza life yangu, nikatoka social media, nikacha vitu, nika create an environment ya ku know myself. I just wanted to find my identity, so that I can know my destiny. Na nikaanza kuseek God. Mine was a spiritual. Healing yangu ilikuwa spiritual because I realized kama singechukua hiyo direction, nitumie ujanja ya dunia,
bado ungekuwa pale.
Ningekuwa pale.
And umetacha on a lot of things. The environment breeded what you are at the particular point.
Exactly.
And so you decided to leave that which glorified and which felt cool.
Good.
And you're like, you know what? I will take a break. I will take a break and I will get out of this place. And it's very important. And this came from you.
Yes.
No one told you, Toka. And now you found people around you who will converge around you to help you become better.
That's actually my wife and my son. Those are the two people who supported me.
When everything was done.
Those are the ones who supported me. And then, you see now, I went to the church now.
Okay.
My pastor was also support. Then, when I started praying, my sister came on board now. So, the right relationships were now being re-established again. You see? So, it's a process. There is a re-establishment. There is a kuna ile newness inakuja. But unaweza break, uki-expect newness, kumbe ume-break, yes. But hujajua the right doorway. But so, ukirudi tena, unaenda to the old doorway. So after umerecover unakuja unapata job nini, but cycle ni ile kidogo. Account yako 100k
hata ulisahau
hata pale ulitoka.
And for you because you're a father, and I believe you'll have fun, there's one thing I would like to know.
Yes,
indeed you've said it's a process, so someone at home or someone wherever they are should not expect an overnight change.
No.
Because it's one you've said and touched on, and maybe someone may be taking notes. Strong will. You need to have made the choice.
Exactly.
It's not something that will happen without you being part of.
To short still, not just a choice. Okay. You have to make a radical choice.
And radical
is deep. In this context. It's very painful.
It's painful
because it means unakata vitu zote za dunia na unajikata wewe. So in short, you have to cut all the relationship. For me, nilikata watu close to me mpaka wa leo wanasemanga najifanya.
Serious?
Exactly. But I have to do it. It is my life.
Do you feel you have a sense of explaining yourself to them?
No, I don't. I don't.
So guys, hope you're writing notes.
I owe them nothing.
hope you're taking notes
I owe
because
them that.
you cannot get this anywhere else except Tupatane. Sawa. And so, first of all, not only making a choice, but a radical choice. And indeed, as you make this radical choice, I don't know how it works, you know. I believe, as Christians, believe that God will bring people around you. You know, He places people around you. And for Ricky, there are few people who came around him. Let me tell you, his son. Now, get this. His son then, I believe, is not the same age now. But he played a very huge role. His wife. And now as you continue, life continues. God continues placing such people. Now the likes of even your pastor.
Yes.
Now we go spiritually.
Exactly.
And then finally you move to your sister.
Exactly.
And I believe each and every day as you live,
Exactly.
God continually places people
Exactly.
in your life.
It's called realignment.
Realignment.
There is a realignment
Okay.
in your pattern of living.
Okay.
So you think you only your destiny helpers will come from within, not without, and they will start from where you think they are not. Because now if you have a sense of nataka kukutana na mtu wako nje,
Yeah.
it will never happen.
Okay.
Because God aliuliza Moses, what are you holding? Akamwambia nimehold stick.
Okay.
And then let it go. Ikachange to snake. So me, I was holding it to people close to me. They might have been wanaweza kuwa wanakaa wadogo sana, but macho zangu hazikuona kama wadogo. Because ninge choose kuona hawa watanisaidia na nini. Actually they are just there. But nili choose kuona kama my door to being able to recover. But first God will come faster.
Okay.
Yes.
And your time is indeed spent. And I believe as it has been spent, it is quality time spent well. To help someone who is at home become a better person.
Exactly.
To become someone that not only the society looks up to, but God says, indeed, this is my child. And there's something I've learned. Love is something that we need to share.
True.
Regardless of your skin color, regardless of your race, regardless of your tribe, regardless of where you're coming from, love is the only constant and common thing that we all understand.
Thank you, Steve.
What are your last words,
Wow.
Eric?
I want to use what we have just concluded with. Love is the greatest and the only remedy that can take you from anywhere, because God is love. So what I'll say, Satan doesn't target your success. Satan always targets your potential. Your potential is the minefield. That's your diamond field. But your success has no value to him. So just watch on your potential and involve God in your potential. That's the only way. God bless you.
Guys, once again, this is Tupatane. Mahali sisi ubonga na tunabonga venye iko. Hope you continually are benefiting from such amazing conversations. And I believe if you want to get help, I believe you can. And indeed, it doesn't start from out, it starts from in going out. So, you can follow us once again on our social media platforms. On Instagram at Eagle Mamas, on Facebook at Eagle Mamas, and also on YouTube at Eagle Mamas. Don't forget to subscribe and share, not just tusijibambe, ndo usaidike, si ndio? My name is Steve Kamau, kama kawa kama K. Let's meet next Friday as we continue talking about issues that will make us better. Asante sana.